When it comes to data analytics, according to the quick introduction I gave you and history about the journey from informatics to data analytics, okay, we know what is data, but what do they mean from information when it comes to data analytics? Here I have mentioned it with this term, very information. Please don't take serious this term that you see here. It is just I created to give you the idea that we are talking about the information when it comes to data analytics. Okay, data typically comes in the form of graphs, numbers, figures, statistics. You know this, we talk about these things. Information is typically presented through words, language, thoughts, and ideas. That's one point about data and information that previously we didn't refer to that. So here it talks about that information, or in fact very information, is not collection of things together. It is just some conclusion. It is just some final decision. As you can see, information is typically presented through words, language, thoughts, or idea. So it is like that. For example, it says that buy it, sell it. It is descending. It is ascending. It doesn't mean it is it, words. It means that it is some sort of idea that is expressed with words. And another things that we have that I think should tell you all the story is that data isn't sufficient for decision making. So in fact, when you see data, you cannot make any decision with them, but you can make decision based on information. So here it tells you, so when we are in the field of data analytics and we are talking about data, okay, data is something as raw material, but what do really call information in data analytics? It is something that based on you can make decision. For example, when it tells you stock A is gonna have higher price tomorrow. So when it is information, because it tells you, it makes decision making for you much easier. And it is in fact the point about information in the data analytics that brings some sort of insight. It is not just any manipulation with data that we say that any manipulation create information, because for example, we have some data here, um, list of data from 100 data here, and they start data 1 to data 100. Okay, if we do some sort of process here and we put, for example, divide all of them by 2, of course it is information because it is some sort of um, processing. But in data analytics, we have a little bit more strict definition for information that should help us with decision making. How? With the insight that it gives you. For example, you check some data that you have and it tells you next week there is 90% chance of tornado. Okay, it is information. And we are going to talk about these things a lot. And remember, it is just the beginning of our course, and you are going to learn about all of these things. And I hope you are becoming interested enough to continue your studies, your knowledge expanding projects on your own. Now, this slide should be super simple to you, because here we are going to have some examples of data versus information, and very easily you should distinguish them from each other. Okay, the first one, we just some sort of talk about it. The history of temperature readings all over the world for 100% years is data. Makes sense? If this data is organized and analyzed to find that global temperature is rising, that is information. Very simple type of information, that you analyze 100 years of data about temperature and finally you come to the conclusion, just one line, and you say the global temperature is rising. And here you can see this point, typically presented through words, language, thoughts, and ideas, as you can see here. So here it is exactly a sentence, an idea. Global temperature is rising. It is information. At a restaurant, a single customer's bill amount is data. However, when the restaurant owner collects and interprets multiple bills, for example, 1,000 bills over a range of time, to find what menu items are most popular, is information. You get all those bills, you gather them, you analyze them, and you come up with the most popular items. That most popular item is information, because it is the result of data mining. It is the result of data analytics, checking something. On their own, inventory levels are data. For example, you have 1 million items in your warehouse, and you have monitored their levels for the last 10 months daily, and it is huge amount of data that it is confusing, and on their own they are not going to help you with anything. But when companies analyze and interpret that data over a range of time to find out their supply chain issues, that's information. And another point about informatics that we talked last session, we start with computational systems, if you remember, and computational systems were the systems based on calculation, if you remember. Now remember, if we do these tasks that you see here by calculations according to the definition of computational systems, it is called informatics. That would be the focus of our discussions in many different classes, to make you a data analyzer at the end of the program. And finally, the last slide is about misleading data. It is just giving you the hint about the fact that many times the information that you get from data is wrong. One reason could be because the data is wrong. Another point is the data is not enough, or the context that they are being used in are not correct. Okay, so this situation is called misleading data, because data needs to be interpreted and analyzed. It is quite possible. It is quite possible and very probable that the data will be interpreted incorrectly. When this leads to erroneous conclusions, it is said that the data are misleading. Here, an example would help us very well with this misleading data, and I just want to tell you, when you analyze the data, always there is a chance of um, incorrect information because of not putting it correctly in the context. Okay, let's check it. It says, for example, your investment in a mutual fund may be up by 5%, and you may conclude that the fund manager are doing a great job. Okay, so you see the story is very simple. You have put your money in a mutual fund and you have get 5% and you are very happy about that, and it is data now here. This 5% is data. And what is your information? The information you create according to your analysis. Okay, the management has done a great job, but it's not correct. Why? Because this could be misleading if the major stock market indices are up by 12%. So in fact, that manager has done a terrible job, and they have underperformed the market significantly. But okay, the data that being used is not complete, just they are focused on that 5%. So the outcome information is not correct. Let me give you another example before we wrap up our class today. Imagine there are two cities, City 1 and City 2. City 1 has 100 fire stations, fire departments, and City 2 has 1,000 fire departments. City 1 has 50 fire cases, and City 2 has 500 fire cases. Now, if you want create some sort of information based on this data that you have, you can say more fire departments that we have, therefore we have more fires in that city. But it is not correct. It is exactly categorized in the category of misleading data. Why? Because City 2 that has 1,000 fire departments has the population of 1 million, and City 1 that has 100 fire departments has the population of 100,000 people. So the reason that City 2 has 10 times more fire cases is not because of having more fire departments. It is because of having more population. So there are gonna be more cases of fire. So in fact, we have more fire departments here is because of more people. So it is was also another point when we always review the topic of data and information. It is necessary to cover the misleading data, because always the journey from data to information can have some problems that get us from even the correct data to wrong information, because we are not putting the data in the correct context. As the last things, also remember whenever whenever businesses are trying to encourage you, for example, to contact them about their product, they said that for more information, contact us. Now think about that. Is it in this context that we discussed together, is it correct to say that for more data, contact us, or for more information? Because when you call them, they are going to give you some, we call it in a daily basis, information. For example, we say that I wanted more information about product, for example, X1. But I'm asking you, think about it. Do you think it is correct, or in technical terms, the word data must be used? And they should say, if you want more data, contact us. Thank you so much.